Sophie here, and I am 28 years old. I usually work as an office lady. I appear rather normal, and my abilities are nothing unique. I have a strong personality, but not any particularly remarkable qualities. That brief introduction started the Mixer event. It was a social gathering with men from a somewhat larger firm than ours, arranged by several women from the department next to mine. Originally scheduled as 3 women and 3 guys, they asked me to join at last minute since they lacked sufficient personnel. Though I'm not particularly gorgeous, I'm not so ugly that I would sour the atmosphere either. I am plenty sociable to fit in at occasions like these. I chose to simply enjoy the dinner since I didn't have a boyfriend right now, and I wasn't expecting to meet someone really great at the Mixer. It happened in a laid-back yard house restaurant. From the beginning, the other 2 women were preoccupied with 2 attractive and skinny men with that American pop star appearance. That left 2 additional men, one who was huge and well-built and wore spectacles, and another who looked very plain. The huge man seated across from me identified himself as Tyler. Even through his shirt, his muscles were clear-cut, and he had a thick beard and strong features, completely my type. More than skinny, attractive guys, I have always admired muscular, strong men. To be really honest, my perfect man would be someone with rugby player appearance. He merely needs to be strong enough to carry one. He does not have to ride in on a white horse. I'm regularly invited to mixers for this reason. My taste in males is somewhat different from most ladies. Your muscles are really strong. Are you involved in any sports? I asked him with great anticipation. I used to play rugby in college, but right now I concentrate on weight training, Tyler said. Jackpot. I got excited. Tyler was eating his dinner, not chatting much to the women, and concentrating on the food. His eating technique was quite remarkable. Sophie, just right. Do you also work out excessively? Joining the discussion, Tyler questioned. You could tell. Another pastime I enjoy is working out, I said, grinning. I considered thus, though maybe that's not the best way to describe it. You seem to be in fantastic shape, Tyler replied with a happy smile. That smile perfectly matched mine. We then really click, discussing weight training, gym attendance, and muscle building. Though I didn't mind, it felt like we were in our own universe apart from the other attendees of the party. Tyler and I arranged to work out together going forward and traded phone numbers. Tyler and I seemed to be the only ones that connected as a pair at this gathering geared for meeting people. Tyler is 39 years old, 1 year my senior. At 5'10" tall, he weighs 150 pounds. I weigh 105 pounds and stand 5'7". Big males like him usually favor petite and delicate women, but Tyler seemed hardly like that at all. That we both enjoyed bodybuilding made him quite pleased. We went on regular dates as well as fitness dates, including movie watching and dining out. Conversations like, when we get married, I want gym equipment in the living room, and we'll need a big living room for that, naturally started to surface. Tyler truly delighted me when I offered him to meet my parents. He was friendly and happy, and marriage seemed not too far off. I'm supposed to see Tyler's house next week. Tyler lost his mother when he was a young child, and his elder sister, who is 6 years his senior, mostly reared him. Though that could be simpler than a mother-in-law, there could be some usual sister-in-law problems. When I first visited Tyler's house, I was anxious, but his sister Evelyn greeted us with great beauty. 6 years older than Tyler, she is in her mid-40s, and I couldn't help but find her to be quite beautiful. About my height, she seemed like a more polished version of Tyler. She lacked much muscle. Her beautiful black hair truly caught attention. Tyler's father is similarly well-built. He has thick eyebrows exactly like Tyler. Evelyn prepared us handmade seafood pasta, but there was a tiny flaw. I have seafood allergies. Evelyn, I'm sorry, but I'm allergic to shrimp and crab, I said. I had to avoid the shrimp and crab on the spaghetti since a tiny bit would cause hives. I thought I told you about the allergy. Not sure I did. Looking a little worried, Evelyn said, given our frequent dining together, Tyler should have known about my allergy. I had no idea about that. Apologies, Sophie, Tyler remarked. I grinned and answered, It's all right. Could you eat these crab and shrimp for me, Tyler? Tyler delightedly answered, Of course, then grabbed the crab and shrimp from my dish. Evelyn's eyes become rather austere, but I didn't give it any thought. Trying to diffuse things, I said, I'll be more careful next time. Evelyn next said, Sophie, if you marry, he won't be able to eat crab or shrimp anymore. Though I hadn't really considered it before, I reasoned I could avoid cooking with foods likely to aggravate my allergy. When Evelyn stated, It's really a shame because he loves them so much, I began to feel somewhat ashamed. Was she laying blame on me? I looked perplexed. Tyler said fast, Don't worry, I can always eat crab and shrimp when I go out, or I can come here for them. Evelyn kept bringing up how much Tyler enjoyed crab and shrimp as a young child and how she would keep making them for him as long as she was cooking for the remainder of the stay. Her remarks made me a little excluded. Even after you're married, you're always welcome to visit, Evelyn said later when she saw Tyler off at the door. She seemed to be suggesting that I was somehow dragging Tyler away from her. I told Tyler on the drive home, It sounds like your sister doesn't think very highly of me. You seem to enjoy crab and prawns really greatly. Though Tyler cheered me, I was feeling a little low. Yeah, I enjoy them, but worry about my sister not here. She just worries a little too much about what I eat since she finds it rather vital. Tyler said Evelyn might be quite involved in his life as she adopted a motherly position following the death of his mother. Given she has been his caregiver for so long, he reasoned she would have a bit of a sister complex. Evelyn is seeing Adam, a really attractive boyfriend. Women often drool over him. He is much more appealing than certain celebs. For my part, he doesn't really appeal. 31-year-old Adam runs a nightclub. Evelyn was working when a colleague drove her to the club where Adam was the best bartender. His work consisted on courting ladies for tips, but he fell in love with Evelyn and finally chose to launch his own company. Adam truly loves Evelyn, and even Tyler's father, who once opposed the notion of her seeing a bartender, has embraced him now that he runs his own nightclub. I even sometimes work out with him, Tyler remarked. He wants to build some muscular mass, but nothing too extreme. Tyler clarified that occasionally he and I go out to dine with Evelyn and Adam. Evelyn yelled out once, Wait, as I was ready to toss lemon and sauce over Tyler's fried shrimp. Tyler prefers ketchup on fried food. Tyler answered coolly, Don't worry. Sophie advised me to try the lemon and sauce. It tasted very excellent. Though tartar sauce also works and ketchup is fantastic, lately I have been loving lemon and sauce. Tyler appeared good with the modification, but Evelyn's face revealed she wasn't pleased with it. This went beyond food, though, as well. Evelyn looked offended whenever Tyler expressed interest in anything I showed him, including foreign operas or when he started dressing differently. She seemed to object to seeing him transform. Also, unusual events occurred during our dinner at Tyler's residence. Often, even if no crab or prawns were shown, I would develop hives. I began to question whether the products or condiments they used might have included traces of shellfish, which I wouldn't have noticed. To find out what was truly going on, I thus sought to assist with the cooking at Tyler's house, but Evelyn wouldn't let me. Why not you help with the dishes instead? She asked. I thus found myself washing dishes without being able to check the ingredients. I said, One day, I got hives again after we ate here last time. Evelyn answered, That's weird. We skipped crab and prawns. Sophie, may you possibly have additional allergies? She was blaming me for the issue as if she'd also mentioned, It will be difficult for you to cook for Tyler if you have so many allergies. About him, I am worried. She looked focused more on Tyler than on me. For record's sake, I only have one allergy. I've undergone extensive allergy tests before, but Evelyn seemed unconvinced even after I told her this. I came to see this went beyond her dislike of me. She seemed not ready to let Tyler go from her. Evelyn, however, already is 34 and is seeing Adam, a serious lover. She obviously in love with Adam, hence it is incomprehensible for her to be so close to her brother. Maybe Adam could assist to straighten things out. Evelyn and Adam should, after all, be considering marriage themselves. It's time they advance as well. Tyler remarked, I've talked to her many times, but she says she can't think about marriage until I'm settled and married. When I asked about it, given Tyler, Evelyn looked to be postponing her own marriage. Then one day an unanticipated event occurred. Evelyn and Adam cordially welcomed us over for dinner. Evelyn got up right away, saying she had to leave after Tyler excused himself to use the bathroom. Tyler returned a little later supporting Evelyn, who appeared to be in pain and was holding a handkerchief to her mouth. Adam stood up right away and asked, Are you okay? I'll get you home. Evelyn objected, though, saying, It's great, as we have already ordered the food. Have fun. Tyler and I are headed home. They therefore left together. Adam and me left alone. Though it felt a little weird, we tried to enjoy it since it was a fancy Italian lunch. Then Adam turned suddenly to look at me and remarked, Sophie, you're unique, very creative and lovely. He knew how to appeal to women as a former bartender, but what startled me was what followed. Adam softly grabbed my hand and whispered, Hey, how about we have some fun together? I gasped. Having just left feeling sick, his lover Evelyn, was he thinking, moving on me straight after? He's supposed to be in love with Evelyn. Though handsome as he is, his behavior was totally inappropriate. Pulling my hand away, I replied, Please stop laughing. Should Evelyn hear this, she would be offended. Still, Adam's answer caught me off guard. Grinning slyly, he said, She won't be offended. It surprised me. I forcefully rejected him right away. I'm not interested in good-looking guys. Adam laughed and replied, You're interesting, Sophie, without seeming to be offended. Turning down his offer to bring me home, I dashed to the station and texted Tyler. I had a great need to see him and explain what had lately happened. When Tyler got here, he questioned, Why did you call me here? Who's happened? I brought him to a quiet area, apologized, then asked, By the way, how's your sister? Though I wanted to ease into the conversation, I wasn't really worried about her. Tyler said she was good right away when we arrived home. She was just fussing about it. Too bad we missed the Italian dinner. I then delivered the shocking drop-off. After you left, Adam passed by me. Tyler's typically cool demeanor became grave. Whither? That, the reason is, clearly startled and perplexed, he exclaimed, She's supposed to be with my sister. That is what I mentioned. Evelyn would be offended. I informed him. Adam insisted she wouldn't be. What exactly does that mean? I questioned. Deeply in contemplation, Tyler said, That's really bad. The tale he told next surprised me. He said that the connection would quickly sour any time he brought a woman to his sister. The women would always say they had found someone else, which explained the breakups. Once I watched an ex-girlfriend curling up with a man resembling Adam. I believed I was wrong since it was from a distance and he was wearing sunglasses. Tyler remarked. Hearing this, I was taken aback. Evelyn appears to have been using Adam to sour Tyler's connections. This was too important to ignore, hence I chose to be direct with Tyler. I informed him that I only have an allergy to shellfish, nothing else, and told him how I frequently developed hives following meals Evelyn cooked. I know she wants to keep you near, but we can't be happy in this situation, and it's not good for her either," I remarked. Tyler groaned, then said, "Yeah, you're right. I'm truly sorry, Sophie. I never imagined my sister would go this far." He seemed obviously disturbed, but I had to tell him straightforwardly how I felt. "I cannot stay in this relationship if you choose your sister over us, Tyler." Tyler answered right away without thinking. I pick Sophie here. We'll address my sister's problems together. She won't be able to meddle after we move out." With some relief, he said, "I'm very glad you're not into attractive males. I wasn't the one who dumped before." We both chuckled a little, and it seemed as though our link strengthened. We were headed toward marriage at that point on. I chose not to visit Tyler's residence going forward, and keeping some distance from his sister ensured she couldn't meddle. Though our wedding was underway, I couldn't help but feel nervous. A cursory online search turned up a lot of terrifying tales about things going wrong during weddings and celebrations. I wanted to be ready for whatever surprise presented. Asked our wedding planner how often things go wrong at weddings in a meeting. Sensing my anxiety, the planner gently inquired whether I had any particular worries, which let me open and work things out. Presuming the best, I got ready for the big day. Excited when I entered the dressing room on our wedding day, I was shocked what I saw. Evelyn was there, using a big cutting knife to rip up my wedding dress aggressively. Trashed accessories were all around her feet. Though I had anticipated she would attempt to ruin the wedding, I imagined it would be something like coffee or water spilled on the dress. Not this. She really cutting the dress with a knife never occurred in my mind. "Everything is now destroyed. What a shame," Evelyn murmured, flashing a smile. Still composed, though, I said, "It's all rentals anyway. Most people do not purchase pricey custom-made wedding gowns." Her smile slightly faded. "What? But without a dress, a wedding cannot take place," she said. "That is why I have a spare dress ready," I said coolly. "I'll just wear the other one. The one you wrecked more appealed to me." Tyler entered just then, after a knock on the door. He stopped at the sight, clearly stunned. "Evelyn, why would you do this?" he asked. Beside me, the wedding coordinator remarked, "All these clothes and accessories belong to the venue. Should I notify the police of the damage?" Tyler spoke fast. "We'll pay for it. On our wedding day, I want no criminal in the family there." Evelyn at last seemed to grasp the gravity of what she had done when she heard the word criminal. She began shouting, "Criminal? You're referring to what? I merely object to this marriage." "Too bad," I responded, "but we are already legally married. We are formally a couple, hence canceling today's ceremony will have no effect." Evelyn looked startled, then dropped to the floor, mumbling, "No, that can't be true. That is a falsehood." Tyler dropped down next to her and softly pleaded, "Please stop, Evelyn. I'm not ready to despise you." She broke down, bawling like a toddler, screaming out for him at his words. She started to cry, "Tyler, Tyler." Tyler was requested to bring her out of the dressing room so I could change into the spare dress and fix my makeup. Our relatives had arrived at the site by then, and Adam had even turned up. "I can't believe she actually did it," Adam added, which made me wonder why he didn't stop her if he knew what was coming. Perhaps, though, he wanted not to get involved since he had been an accomplice in previous contexts. Still unable to stop her cries, I left Evelyn under Adam's care. Tyler and I gave our parents all the explanations. Though initially there was some panic, our composure helped to define the problem. We chose to concentrate on finishing the wedding and celebration as practically flawless. Evelyn continued to weep during the wedding and frequently dabbed at her eyes with a handkerchief at the reception. Those who knew the whole situation saw her as simply depressed over her brother's marriage and looked at her compassionately. We managed the wedding and celebration through the drama. We remained at a hotel in downtown before jetting to Hawaii for our honeymoon that evening. Ahead of us was a week-long gastronomic tour, Tyler's consoling words kept playing in my thoughts, telling me everything will be great. I want to dislike you no more than I already do, Tyler had told Evelyn. Those looked to be the toughest penalty she could have. 5 months later, Adam paid us a visit at our new house with a large arrangement of flowers as a gift and exuded normal charm toward women. Tyler hadn't seen his sister since the wedding. He hadn't returned to his parents' house either. She would try to get in touch with him occasionally, but Tyler would distance himself from her calls. I could tell, though, he still worried about her. Adam's response to his inquiry about her condition was surprising. "Actually, I've been thinking about breaking up," Adam stated, startling Tyler. "What?" Tyler yelled. Adam said, "She's simply not the same afterwards event. Her effort for you made me love her even more." Though his remarks were evasive, I sensed Adam was bored with the whole circumstances. Still, I reasoned that Adam could be better staying with her. Without him, whose future she might follow? Maybe she will get married and start a family. She might recover her old personality if her son resembles Tyler, I advised, wanting to preserve our quiet life. Particularly now that I was pregnant, I worried about what Evelyn may do should we have a son who looked like Tyler. Adam seemed delighted by the concept, surprisingly. "I'll give marriage some thought, even if I never gave it any thought before." "Thanks," he remarked with great enthusiasm. And a month later, Adam and Evelyn registered as a married couple. As a former bartender, his fast decision-making was astounding. It was relieving when not long after I had a newborn boy who looked exactly like me. Still, I knew Evelyn would not be drawn to him. Though I hadn't been particularly open to the prospect of having children previously, I soon bonded to our son and valued his uniqueness. I could now somewhat grasp Evelyn's great devotion to Tyler. "Tyler said to me one day, 'Sophie, don't turn out like my sister.'" His tone was subdued and nuanced. Adam and Evelyn then proceeded as intended to have a child as well. Evelyn became pregnant and delivered a gorgeous little daughter as valuable as a gem instead of a boy looking like Tyler. Unbelievably, Adam developed an obsession with their daughter rather than Evelyn. Even though we hadn't asked for them, he would give us wonderful photos of her growing up, totally enthralled by her. Having turned one, she became even more adorable and delightful. Our little 3-year-old troublemaker is somewhat the handful, but his mischievousness only accentuates his attractiveness. Adam makes jokes about doing everything it takes to deter any prospective partner his daughter could find. Both Adam and Evelyn seem to be somewhat protective in that sense. Although they seem to fight about their daughter a lot, really it doesn't worry me. It's interesting to me that they only forward pictures of their kid. They never any of the full family. Their business, though, is not mine. Apart from that, I have plenty on my plate as I am expected to have twins once more in 3 months. Already as busy as small monsters, the younger ones take a lot of care. Simply said, I lack the will to bother about the difficulties of others. Tyler currently largely uses the training machine we set up in our large living room. After giving baby, I had intended to utilize it to regain shape, but it soon became a laundry hanging spot. Having all these children to pursue has made me appreciate the need of keeping strength and endurance. Perhaps if we have more kids, we could relocate the machine and really start visiting the gym. Tyler notes, though, that we will never run out of weights even without the machine. He says this while squatting with our son on his back, and I am reminded of how much I love him. That makes me sure I won't turn into his sister. When our children grow up, I hope they will meet excellent companions and lead the kind of amazing life I am privileged to enjoy now.